Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. As most of you have heard by now, the large 7.8 megaquake that occurred in Turkey last night, it's being listed as Central Turkey Nerdot, coming in at 17.9 kilometers deep. That's around 11 miles deep, and there have been over 90 aftershocks following the large 7.8 magnitude earthquake. We're over here at the USGS. This is a list of the seismographs they have positioned all around the world, and you can see they are all jet black. They're still reeling from the 7.8 magnitude earthquake. Here's one that was not far from the epicenter in Ankara, Turkey, jet black. And then we go down to Casey, Antarctica. It too, jet black. All around the world, these seismographs are still, this is right now, are still reeling from the primary wave energy following the 7.8 magnitude earthquake. And again, the aftershocks continue. There are over 90 aftershocks and counting. Some of the aftershocks, right here's one that was 7.5, and this one here was 5 miles deep. That is extremely shallow for an earthquake of that magnitude. They're going to be very destructive on the surface as the ground is going to roll like carpet. I had a gentleman explain that to me one time. He was in an earthquake and he said the ground literally rolled like you would unroll a roll of carpet. He said it was not anything fun to be in. But last night was unique with regard to the moon. Last night was known as a micromoon. And we're going to talk about what a micromoon is. And it doesn't happen very often. And last night, when the micromoon was in full effect, the earthquake started. You can see February 5th of 2023. And there's the 7.8 magnitude earthquake over in central Turkey, right around the same time as the micromoon. Well, here's a coincidence that I found that you guys may find interesting. There was a micromoon last year in June of 2022. In fact, it was on June 29th. Just so happened in June of last year, there was a large earthquake also over in the Eastern Hemisphere, over here in Afghanistan, not too terribly far from Turkey. And this too was a very shallow earthquake coming in at 4 kilometers deep. That's 2 miles. Are you serious? 2 mile deep, 6.0 magnitude earthquake. That also did a lot of damage in that region. This again occurred on June 22nd of 2022, right before a micromoon. And this year in 2023, there was a micromoon on the same exact day as the large 7.8 magnitude earthquake. So it makes you wonder if that was a mere coincidence. Here's a look at the Earth and the moon right now. This is a map of the solar system, and the moon is at what they call apogee, and it's at its farthest point away from the Earth. The supermoon is when the moon is at its closest point to the Earth. So it makes you wonder, could there be a stronger gravitational pull, at least in the Eastern Hemisphere, with regard to the moon and the Earth? Is it creating some sort of an anomaly? And I'm talking about this micromoon. I want to share with you guys some photos that were sent in of the micromoon from various locations around the world. And here's a brief description. This is a graph showing what the micromoon is. Micromoon is right here when it's at its farthest point away from the Earth at 251,000 miles. Perigee, when it's at supermoon phase, is 223,000 miles. So it's closer, looks bigger. When it's at apogee, it's farther away from the Earth at its farthest point, and it looks smaller. But I'm wondering, since there was a large, very shallow earthquake at 2 miles deep last year in 2022, just 7 days prior to the micromoon, and then this year there's been a series of large earthquakes on the same exact day as the micromoon. This year's full snow moon rises on Sunday, February 5th, and will be the smallest full moon of the year, thanks to the current position of the moon in its orbit. Its distance from Earth will make this snow moon a micromoon, the opposite of a supermoon, and that's what I was showing you guys right here. And right now, the moon is positioned at around 250,000 miles away from the Earth. So it makes you wonder, is there some sort of a gravitational anomaly occurring, especially during last night's micromoon? And here's some photos. Lisa Out of Florida, this is a photo of the micromoon. Darren out of Council Bluffs, Iowa, sent this photo in of the moon with some very colorful rings around the moon. And then notice the wavy clouds in front of the moon here in the sky in the foreground of the photo. Here's another photo of the rings around the moon and the wavy clouds in the foreground. Another photo here by Darren out of Iowa. This is a close-up view of last night's micromoon. Much like the moon of 2023, Tad and Sierra, notice the moon with a big jumbo halo around it, and that too is the micromoon from last night. Sean out of Edmonton, Alberta, noticed a sundog and a halo, at least part of a halo, around last night's micromoon. Thanos out of Puerto Rico. This is a photo, unedited photo of the micromoon from Puerto Rico. And here's a still image of the full moon, micromoon, and a list over here of all of the earthquakes that started right as the micromoon started. And the earthquakes are still ongoing, and the micromoon is slowly coming out of micromoon phase, and it's going through the multiple phases that it goes through every month. And I understand that there's earthquakes all month long during each phase of the moon. But you can't help but wonder, since there was an earthquake last year just within a week of the micromoon that was super shallow, coming in at 2 miles deep in relatively the same general part of the Earth over here in the eastern hemisphere. I understand it's 1,800 miles apart, but this earthquake occurred within 7 days of the micromoon in 2022. This year, there was a shallow earthquake over here in Turkey that occurred exactly on the same day of the micromoon, when the moon is at its farthest point away from the Earth, quite possibly creating some sort of a gravitational anomaly. The earthquake was also detected up here at the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera. Again, the primary waves rang around the Earth, generating these black seismographs from Newfoundland all the way down to Antarctica. And not only is there an ongoing swarm right now over in Turkey, there was an earthquake last night that was felt by humans in Buffalo, New York, not just showing up on seismographs. People felt this very shallow, yet another super shallow earthquake, like the earthquake back in 2022 that was a mere 4 miles deep. This earthquake south of Buffalo, New York, came in at 1.5 miles deep, and it was a 3.8 magnitude. Once again, just south and east of Buffalo, New York. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.